I wasn't quite sure what to expect when I started reading Jennifer Makumbi'S A Girl is a Body of Water, except that from the title, I could guess it was a novel with a feminist cause. And on that hand, it didn't disappoint. It's a story set in Uganda. It's about two generations of women resisting patriarchy in society. One from the 1930s through 40s during the colonial era, and the second from the 1970s through 80s when Idi Amin was the military leader. As the story opens, we find 12-year-old Kirabo, who is trying to find answers to the question she grew up asking: who is my mother? She grows in a village with a biological grandparent, but her other grandmother, the village witch, is whom she trusts to help her get answers to her question. If you aren't a very patient reader, this first part will bore you, because Makumbi spends over 100 pages on exchanges between these two characters. But as it turns out, this part is important because it lays the foundation and explains how the suppression of women takes root in the Ugandan belief system. While other girls her age, I'm talking 11 to 15, are preoccupied with the idea of marriage. Well, that's the society standards, not Kirabo. So she abandons her newfound love, joins her father in town, gains admission into a girls' secondary school, but still keeps on looking for her mother. And this is where the story starts to gain momentum. You know, upon deeper reflection, you'll find that Kirabo is just a small part of the resistance to patriarchy. In fact, our grandmothers had the same experience. And then you'll find that both sets of women lived the same lives that revolved around men. The grandmothers were close friends as kids, so close that they vowed to marry the same man to maintain their friendship. But they had different ambitions. One was fine with being a traditional woman, a homekeeper, but the other wanted to get educated and have a career for herself before getting married. 2 generations later, a similar story plays out between Kirabo and her best friend. And that tells you that women's lives are typically designed to revolve around men in a patriarchal society. I mean, this story was set in 1930s Uganda through 1980s. But today, the battle between traditional women and feminists is still a hot topic on our digital space. Yet, a strong message in the novel is whether a woman is being defiant or she's subtly controlling the significant men in her life, the goal is still to resist patriarchy. There are so many dimensions to this story to discuss, but they only make sense when you read the novel yourself. So I'll just move on to my thoughts about the quality of the novel. I find it unique that even though it takes the third person voice, the author takes a moment to address you, the reader, like it works in the face-to-face African storytelling kind of setting. Something like, have you ever seen a cockerel caught in the rain? That's what Seal looks like. Then I should add that the novel has a slow start. You don't know if what you are reading is Afro fantasy or not. Sort of what Nnedi Okorafor writes. But if you make it past that, it gets interesting. And my favorite part about the novel is that it's packed with lots of family drama and philosophies to get you pondering. I'm talking the concept of choice, poverty as a construct, time, and what have you. I'll leave an excerpt to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. If you've read the novel, please share your thoughts.